guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It is me, Giselle, and if this is your first time here, thanks for clicking on today's video. As you've seen in the title, today we are going to talk about how you can achieve this flawless, perfect foundation and what I do to have my foundation last all day and look basically flawless and like my skin. So I get a lot of compliments about my foundation looking good and what kind of foundation I use and things like that. So we're going to go through everything that I do. Hopefully you'll learn some techniques or try something new in your routine, and we are going to get started. So first, what I like to do is skin prep. Skin prep is so important when you are applying foundation or when you're applying your makeup. Even when you're taking your makeup off, you always want to have some kind of skincare routine, and I either do one or two things. Oh, I got a message. So I either do one or two things. First, if I feel my face is very dry and I haven't really been taking care of my skin, I will do what I'm going to show you. My skincare routine is super simple. I don't have 50,000 steps, and you don't have to have 50,000 steps in your skincare routine. It's basically what you need and a trial and error. But first, we're going to start off with cleansing our skin. So what I like to use is this Derma E skin cleanser. I've used a lot of different cleansers in their line or in their brand, and all of them are really good. I haven't tried one yet that I don't like. So just go to your Ulta or go to your Walgreens drugstore and just find a good skin cleanser. And basically what the cleanser does is it gently cleans your skin. You can either use a cleanser, or I like to use a black African soap. Same thing. It's really gentle. It doesn't strip my skin of its natural oils, and that's what you want. I have very sensitive skin, so if I go through with a very heavy scrub, or if I go through something that's really harsh, my skin will freak out and break out and I get red. So I need something that's very gentle, and those couple of things that I've been using, it's very gentle on my skin, and it cleanses and cleans my skin. So sometimes after that, I'll go straight into moisturizer. But today I want to show you one of my favorite hydrating masks. And this is the Neutrogena Hydro Blast Gel Mask, right? I believe you see the name on the screen. But I really like this mask because it has hydro something acid, oh dang it, I'm gonna have to go get it. I really like this Hydro Boost mask because it has, what is it? Hyaluronic acid, and that is very, very good for your skin. It keeps your skin nice and firm and plump. So in my skincare routine, I like to include some products that have that in there as well. But what this mask does is it is a gel, like a moisturizing, it's a very wet, liquidy mask, sheet mask, and I put it on my face, and I like to let it sit on my face for around 10 to 15 minutes, let the oils, let the all the stuff in it just really soak in my skin, and it hydrates the crap out of my skin. Even though you have oily, or even if you have oily skin, I don't want to hear any of y'all saying that, well, I don't moisturize my skin because it's already oily enough and I don't need moisturizer. You still need moisturizer even if your skin is oily. It doesn't matter what kind of skin type you have, dry, combination, oily, sensitive, you still need some type of moisture in your skin. So usually people get really dry skin in the winter. If you have been a long subscriber, you know that my skin is completely opposite. I get dry skin in the summer. I don't know how that happens, but my skin is the driest during the summer and the oiliest during the winter. I don't know. But I like to let that sit on my face, and once I do that, I take it off and I pat all of the rest of the residue in. And sometimes there is little liquid in the bottom of the packet, so I just pour it in my hand and I go through and pat it in my skin, and I let my skin really I drench my skin in this product, so that way it takes about 10 minutes for my skin to soak up the product and leave my face feeling nice and moisturized and plump and amazing. So then we go into our moisturizer. So this moisturizer I like to use is the Pods Dry Skin Cream. Even though I don't have dry skin, it's still a great moisturizer to use. It leaves my skin nice and soft, moisturized, and it's really gentle. So I've recently incorporated an eye cream in my skincare routine, and this is the L'Oreal Vitalift Eye Cream. And what I like to do, because these little things are very expensive, eye creams are generally really expensive in the drugstore, Walmart, whatever. I like to go to either Marshall's, Ross, um, TJ Maxx, and look in their beauty section, and they usually have a lot of these eye creams there for half the price. So I go through and I buy like 3 or 4 of them so they can last me, and I go through and use them. So what I like to do when I am looking for eye creams, I like something that is not too thick, but it still has a little bit of, thickness to it, but you don't want anything that's too thick, because if you are putting it on your eye, it will leave you tugging on your eye to rub it in. So you want something that's not too thick, but it's not too watery, so you can have that moisture under your eye. So after I have all of my moisturizer on, I like to make sure that it's nice and soaked into my skin before I go on with my makeup routine, so that way, your moisturizer and your foundation aren't mixing and slipping around and anything like that. So you want to make sure everything is really soaked into your skin. So it'll probably take no longer than 5 minutes for everything to get in your skin and be moisturized and plump. So after you have your skincare done and you're all moisturized, now it's time to start your foundation, right? Wrong. You want to go in with some sort of primer before you use your foundation. If you see your makeup not lasting long, or your makeup is creasing, or maybe you have large pores, so once you put on your makeup, you see your pores emphasized through your makeup, that just means you need some sort of barrier between your foundation and your skin to make your foundation look flawless. Maybe blur out your skin, fill your pores, mattify your skin so you're not oily, and your foundation will last throughout the day. So it just depends on your skin type. If you are, oily, dry skin, you want a hydrating primer. Oily skin, you want a mattifying primer. Large pores, you want a pore minimizing primer. So they have a lot of those. e.l.f. has a good foundation primer line that you can go through and look to see what primer you need for your skin tone. Also, if you have oily skin, because I do have oily skin, Black Radiance makes a great shine control primer, and this is their True Complexion Primer. This is maybe my third or fourth bottle, and it's so affordable. It's no more than $5. So over here we like an affordable beat, and we splurge from time to time. I like the luxuries, but we're looking for the best of the best products for an affordable price. And the drugstore has really amazing products now. So people like to focus this in different places. I like to put it all over my face because I want all of my foundation to last all day. And then for extra measures, if I know I am having a long day, if I need my makeup to last from work to maybe going out for drinks later on that night, I like to use this primer. And no, well, No, it's not affordable. I was just trying to justify the price, and it's a little expensive. It is the Becca Evermatte Poreless Primer Perfector. This is a long name. Just Becca Matte Primer. And the consistency is really creamy, but once you put it on your face, you can feel it drying on your face. So if you do not have oily skin, you will hate this primer. But what I like to do is I like to focus it on my smile lines, because that's where usually my foundation creases and breaks down throughout the day. So I like to focus in on my smile lines. And then I like to put a little bit more on my nose and my forehead, because that's where I get oiliest the most. So it helps control that area too. And you don't need a lot. You only need like a little dime size, a little pea size amount. And you can tell that this stuff is on your face because it dries down. Like, whoo, man. It took away all that little shine and moisturizer I had on my face. And it's really important, especially if you have oily skin, if you go through and put all of these mattifying products on your face, that you have your face moisturized underneath it, so that way your face is hydrated and it has the moisture it needs, so it's not overproducing oil if you just put on these mattifying products. So next, for foundation, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation, and I just did a review on there, so you can click the eye above if you want to have a full review. They just extended their shade range to include 40 shades, so I just went ahead and decided to review it for you guys, just in case you were curious about it. But it really doesn't matter what foundation you use. If you do these steps, your skin prep, knowing your skin, learning your skin, using the primers if you need them, then it really won't matter what foundation you use, because any foundation will work the same. It'll still give you that flawless finish. So a couple of the tools I like to use. I like to go in first with a brush when I'm applying my foundation. And a couple of my favorite brushes is, one, the e.l.f. brush has been with me since I started my makeup. And this is the e.l.f. small stippling brush. Then after that, I decided to get something a little bit bigger. And this is the Real Techniques Expert Face brush. And after that, I wanted something a little bit bigger, and I seen other beauty influencers use this brush, and this is the Morphe M439 brush, and it is just nice and big, and it covers a great surface area, and it's big. I already said big. It just covers a lot in a less amount of time, so my brushes have just gradually gotten bigger and bigger, as you see. But for today, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. face brush, stippling brush, because it's the only one that's clean. And what I like to do, if it has a pump, I just go ahead and squirt a little foundation on my face, because I really don't like putting it on the back of my hand, because that just causes more issues and more mess for me. So I'm like, I'll just squirt it on my face. And then we go through and we pat for the first few minutes. Oh, I don't like to rub, because if you rub, you get those little lines. Well, with the brush, you still get those little lines, but I just like to go in and just pat to spread it out. And then around my chin area, I'll go through and just drag it down. once you're done, you can see a lot of like the stippling lines, right? You see a lot of brush strokes, things like that, and it's just not as perfect and flawless as I want it. So this next step is like, I can't live without it. I go through. This is the Real Techniques body sponge. This is a little bit bigger, or this is a lot bit bigger than the Real Techniques beauty sponge, and it is damp. You always want to use a damp sponge, and you go through and you press it. You just bounce this in your skin. So I'm gonna do one half of my face just so you can see what difference this makes. So I don't know if you can see, but this side looks a lot smoother and flawless, and this side you can just see, probably from the camera you will see like a lot of texture, and that's from the brush and the lines that the brush made. So the reason why I just don't use a sponge is sometimes the sponge can soak up a lot more of the product than I want, and I want all of the product evenly spread on my face. So that's why I use my brush first, and then I go through with the sponge and just pat it and press it into my skin. And that's really how my base comes together. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do my highlighting, contour, the rest of my face off camera, and then I'm going to show you how to make your makeup last all day. So I went through and finished the rest, or kind of finished my face. I have concealer, bronzer, and I have my powder for baking. And you can do this stuff if you want to. Just if you have dry skin, I probably wouldn't. But since I have oily skin, I like to go through and use these powders to really set my face. If you don't use concealer or anything like that, you just go through with your foundation, then you can just skip that. But if you want if you want a more in-depth video on highlighting and contour, I did one a few years back that you can look at. It's fairly the same, but let me know if you want a updated one as well. But I mean, it's the same. So I'm gonna go through and powder my face, and I think really whatever you do, if you bake or not, you really need to have a face powder that is the same color as your foundation or your face. And I go through with the Maybelline Matte Poreless Primer, and this is in the shade Toffee 330. And I go through with a big brush and I just really press it into the skin. So I'm avoiding my baking area right now, and I like to press that into my skin. So once you have that done, you can go through and add your blush if you like to, just to add color back into your face. So once you're done with all of that and your face is fully complete, the last thing you need to do is set your face. Setting your face is so important because it locks in everything. It takes away all of the powderness, and you won't look so cake face if you have that as a concern. Or I mean, if you're not using a lot of powder, then you won't have a cake face. But what I like to do is really set my face. My favorite setting spray is the Morphe setting spray, and I really like it. Not only the formula, because the can is like an aerosol can, so like a hairspray can, and it just mists your face with one continuous spray. It is amazing. But I ran out, and I have the e.l.f. makeup set and mist spray. This spray is fine too. It does the job. It's not as good as the Morphe setting spray with making my makeup last all day and not getting shiny or oily. But I want to use my makeup that I have before I go out and buy more. That is like the only New Year's resolution I made. Use the makeup you have, Giselle, and then you can go and buy replacements. it's a struggle, but hey, I'm here one day at a time. We're gonna get through this together. So I just like to go through and just spray. And you just let that dry. And this is what I basically do when I want to make my makeup last all day and not worry about it. I never powder up, I never touch up. I might go out throughout the day, have like a napkin or something and blot, but I'm not the type of person that will go and keep their powder in their purse and ooh, let me go to the bathroom and read. No, I don't have time for that. I want to put on my makeup in the morning and be done with it until I get home to take it off. That's it. I don't want to be stressed about it or thinking about my makeup after I put it on. And this routine that I do allows me not to worry about my makeup. So, yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And I will see you in my next video.